Okay, let's be real. Have you ever told a story about your family that was, well, maybe a little more exciting than the actual truth? Yeah, we've all been there. But what happens when that amazing story you've built up suddenly comes face to face with reality? We're about to dive into this incredible story called The Medicine Bag, and it's all about a boy named Martin, his Lakota grandpa, and what it really, truly means to carry on a family legacy. So, first up, meet Martin. He and his sister, Cheryl, they live in a regular old suburb, but every summer they go visit their great-grandfather, Joe Ironshell, on the Rosebud Reservation. And when they get back home, oh man, the stories they tell, they basically turn their grandpa into this larger-than-life hero, making him sound like a character straight out of a movie. And here you can really see the massive difference between the fantasy and the reality. In the stories Martin tells his friends, Grandpa is this majestic warrior with long braids living in a teepee. The truth? He's a frail old man with stringy gray hair who lives in a little shack. And of course, Martin knows this, which is exactly why he's never, ever shown his friends a picture. So you can probably guess what's coming next. All this sets the stage for the one moment Martin has been dreading his whole life. One day, completely out of the blue, those two worlds, the fantasy and the reality, are about to collide. Because Grandpa Joe Ironshell shows up right in the middle of Martin's suburban street. You have to picture this scene. It is pure chaos. You've got all the neighborhood dogs just yapping away, a whole crowd of curious kids following along. And there, smack in the middle of it all, is this old man. Martin feels this wave of hot and cold dread wash over him as he realizes, oh no, that's his grandpa. And you can see right here why Martin is just dying inside. Look at Grandpa's clothes. The tall hat, the wrinkly suits, that super bright red shirt. I mean, this is totally normal attire for the reservation, but here in his neighborhood, it just looks so out of place. For Martin, this is a full-blown social nightmare. And that line just says it all. You can feel the raw emotion. He's not just a little uncomfortable. He is hit with this intense wave of shame. He's so embarrassed he literally wishes the ground would just open up and swallow him. He can feel every single person on the street just staring.
But his little sister Cheryl, her reaction could not be more different. She runs out of the house, just beaming, yells "Grandpa," and throws her arms around him in this huge hug. All she feels is joy. It's such a powerful contrast, you know? It really shows you how all that social pressure and worry about what other people think is already hitting Martin hard in a way it just hasn't for his younger sister.
So, you'd think this whole visit is just going to be a disaster for Martin, right? Well, not exactly. It actually ends up being the thing that totally changes him, taking him on this journey from feeling deep shame to incredible pride. For weeks, Martin just avoids his friends. He makes up every excuse in the book so they won't come over and meet his grandpa. But then he has this moment of real honesty with himself. He realizes the truth. He's not afraid his friends will laugh at Grandpa. He's afraid they'll laugh at him. It's all about his own insecurity. Sooner or later, though, it has to happen. His friends basically corner him, saying they have to meet the great Indian of Bellevue Drive. Martin just braces for the worst. He's imagining them pointing, laughing, making jokes. But what happens next is something he never, ever could have predicted. They're totally silent, just staring. They are completely in awe of his grandpa. And Martin sees them, and he hears one of them just whisper, "Wow." They don't see an embarrassing old man. They see dignity. They see history. They see everything Martin was too ashamed to see himself. And Grandpa? He just knows. He knows exactly what to do. He doesn't just sit there awkwardly. He starts telling them a story about the deerskin vest he's wearing, about how he hunted the deer himself. And the boys are just captivated. He's not just some old guy anymore. He's a living, breathing connection to a world they've only ever dreamed about. And boom, that's the turning point, right there. As Martin sees his grandfather through his friend's eyes, these admiring, respectful eyes, all that shame he was feeling just melts away. And what's left? Pride. He's finally seeing his grandpa for the incredible man he really is. So now that Martin's whole perspective has shifted, Grandpa knows the time is right. He can finally reveal the real reason he made this long, difficult journey. It's time to pass on a sacred family tradition, the medicine bag. Now, to really get what this bag is all about, you first have to understand something called a vision quest. This is a really important spiritual tradition for the Lakota people. A young man will go out into nature all by himself. He won't eat and he'll pray, all in the hopes of receiving a special dream, a vision from the Great Spirit that will show him his path in life. So Grandpa tells the story of his father, that's Martin's great-great-grandfather. When he went on his vision quest, he found a piece of an old iron kettle. The elders didn't quite get the vision, but they gave him the name Iron Shell. It was only later, when he was forced to go to a boarding school, that he understood. His destiny was to become a blacksmith, working with that very same white man's iron. And that piece of iron, that became the very first sacred item in the medicine bag. And you can see right here the sheer weight of what's being passed down to Martin. This isn't just some old pouch. It was created by Iron Shell and passed to Grandpa. It was supposed to go to Grandpa's son, Martin's uncle, but he tragically died in a war before he could receive it. And now it's Martin's turn. As the oldest male in the family line, the responsibility now falls on him. So what is actually inside this little leather bag? It's 3 sacred things. There's that piece of the iron kettle from the very first vision quest. There's a small pebble from the hill where he had his vision, and there's a piece of sacred sage, which is a plant used for purification and prayer. Okay, so the history has been told, we all understand the meaning, and now we get to the final and maybe the most powerful moment of the entire story, the official passing of the medicine bag and the whole legacy it stands for, to Martin. And this is where Grandpa is just so wise. He doesn't just hand it over with a bunch of strict rules. He tells Martin not to wear the bag around his neck in the city, explaining that people there wouldn't understand what it means. He's teaching Martin a huge lesson. Heritage isn't about showing it off for everyone to see. It's about understanding its meaning and carrying it inside of you. The story ends a little while later, after Grandpa has passed away. We see Martin back on the reservation, standing all by himself on the prairie, and he's fulfilling his promise. He takes a new piece of sacred sage and adds it to the bag, just like he was told to do. In that quiet moment, you know he has fully accepted who he is and the responsibility of carrying his family's story forward. And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. That medicine bag, it's so much more than just a bag, isn't it? It holds history, identity, and love. It makes you stop and wonder, what are the medicine bags in our own families? What are the stories, the traditions, or even the little objects that connect you to your past and will one day connect the future to you?